This is part 3, and the final part of the interview. All we have now are the community questions. And these include some of the remaining screenshots.
Oh, okay. So I need.
Yeah, they're from the community. In a site called Celestial Heavens.
Oh yes, yes.
First question is, this comes from JSE. Does the in-game password JBARD have any hidden meaning or significance?
JBARD.
JBARD.
Yes, definitely has significance. That is the name of the ranch John had during the development of Might and Magic 6. I don't know if he still has it or not, but it's J for John, bar, like a bar, and then D for Donna, who was his wife.
Ah. That's an interesting turn of events. I was not expecting anything like that.
Yeah, like
someone else had a different theory to it, but I can't remember what it was.
Yep, that was JBARD.
Nice. And we've been mispronouncing it all these years.
All these years, yeah.
The truth comes out from Tim. Okay, this is the second question. This is also by JSC. Traps didn't seem like they were implemented very well in Might and Magic 6, and neither the perception skill that reduced trap damage. For example, you could not actively avoid traps through careful movement, but only passively through your character's perception skill value. Was any alternative approach considered for traps?
No, we didn't. Traps were always a mathematical thing for Might and Magic 6. The trigger was just you stepped on a particular part of the floor, and the perception skill showed you, like it would show up in red or whatever.
Yeah.
And what was red was actually the boundaries of the polygon that trigger. And then it would just run the math. We didn't start getting into more like the physical 3D geometry sort of traps or puzzles until Legends and Might and Magic 9.
Because in 7, it clearly shows the red boxes. But in Might and Magic 6, there's no way to tell.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it was one of those things. Like, yeah, it's not all that important to us. We'll fix it in the past, kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's only important when you click on that one fountain in Kriegspire, and it takes you to Castle Kriegspire.
Yes.
Took a moment, but yeah.
Right, yeah, I had to think about it.
Oh, because that's like the ultimate troll trap. It's like, oh, bam, Minotaur Kings. Hello. Did you come to say hi? Nah, because well, do you remember when, like, in the Superior Temple of Ba, you'd step on something and all of a sudden 500 fireballs would be chain casted your way? Who came up with that? Come on, Tim, was it you?
No, it was not me.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was Walt.
Walt. He has a penchant for chain casting things on you, does he?
Yeah. He was like an old school dungeon master.
Okay.
He could be vicious sometimes.
Oh yeah, was he behind the majority of the traps in the game?
No, the traps were per level designer, and each level designer owned a level. Like if there was a level, that level designer owned it.
RP Genie commented on he said, some of the traps in this game pretty diabolical. They have no qualms with sending you out to instant guaranteed death.
Yes. Yes, that definitely the case. I think that if you go back and you probably could pick out my levels by their lack of traps as opposed to ones like Walt.
Like the Silver Helm Outpost?
I think that was one of mine.
Yeah. It has... The traps that it has are what I call troop traps, where they spawn enemies at key passages. I used to grind that for gold and experience. I used to go back and forth, run between the passages, activate the button that spawned the creatures. I used to do it like 30, 50 times. And the hole would just be filled end to end with swordsmen or guards. And I used to fight them all. I used to get a whole bunch of golden experience that way. Same with Lair of the Wolf.
Lair of the Wolf was Walter's. I remember that
was one of my favorite dungeons because it's just...
Oh, I remember Silverhelm Outpost now.
Yeah.
Looking at the map right now.
Yeah.
That's one of mine.
I gotta tell you a little bit of an achievement. I went in there with a level 4 party. I wiped out a captain.
Nice.
He had an enemy that had 5 times the amount of hit points my knight had, and we killed him.
Very good. That's not stuff we plan on, but that's kind of we never restricted it.
That's
just
good
because that it creates stories like that. Like, oh my god, I was level 1 and I made it through the dragons and dragon sand.
I made it to level 3 without fighting a single creature. I got it through returning the letter, getting the follower of Ba in the tavern to read it, then delivering it to what's his face, Iron Fist. And it gives you enough experience to level up. And that's how I gained the skill points to learn and get expert in Dagger.
Wow. See, I love that. I love when people outsmart us.
Also, I learned that traps, when they explode, you can avoid. You just have to be far enough away from the blast radius. Which is where telekinesis comes in handy, especially if you're lacking in disarmed trap.
Exactly right.
Alright, third question comes in from Avonu. And he says, in Might and Magic 7, there is a sewer key found in the strange temple in... Okay, this guy doesn't speak English as his first language. In a bottle, it reads, New World Computing Office Building is Dungeon Easter egg game. As... Only heard rumors about it, but from what I remember, this was an inside joke about the missing key, which was supposed to be in the sewers of Might and Magic 6 in the unpatched game. He said he also heard that you, Tim Lang, was personally responsible for this mistake. Can you please clear these rumors if you remember anything about this?
Who let that one out? Yes, the sewer key. The sewer key was my fault.
Confirmed.
I don't remember the details about what it was supposed to do or anything like that.
I remember.
I didn't put it in. I completely forgot to put it in. So it was definitely my fault. But also, putting the sewer key into the strange temple, I think, was also my idea, and that was
your way of atoning for the mistake.
Here's your stupid sewer key, all right?
Do you remember what the key opened?
No.
I do. In one of the areas of the Three Havens sewers, there's a treasure room that has some really cool stuff. But you find the key in the grate, and that's what the key opens.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Wait, there was a screenshot here of the sewer key, isn't there?
I think so.
I thought I saw.
Yeah. It's
looking for this.
Thank you. It's the one with the Might and Magic 7 thing. Yep.
Man, look at that mini map. Look at how much more sophisticated we got.
Yeah.
We definitely got a lot more sophisticated in Might and Magic 7 levels.
I still like I'll tell you this for nothing. I still like the artistic style of 6 better. It's just more colorful and it's more like maybe realistic, but also homely. It feels more at home.
Yeah, I've heard that before. It's same. A lot of people say the same thing between Heroes 1 and Heroes 2. Mm-hmm. That Heroes 2 was just friendlier.
Yeah. Okay, next question. This one comes in by Avonu. There are unused items in Might and Magic 6, hidden in the game files, a map, a rope, and lockpicks, etc. Do you remember why they were scrapped? I suppose you plan to have even more pen and paper feeling in the game. I like drawing maps, unlocking doors, and using ropes to explore lower floors of dungeons, but for some reason it was abandoned during the game creation process.
No, I don't think so. Maybe the lockpicks, but I don't think so. I think that's just they were just junk. The map may have been like you buy a map and it opens up the fog of war in a certain level. The rope could have been a quest item.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But we had no, not to my recollection, we had no more sophisticated use for them than that.
You know what I like that you could do? You could throw items out of your inventory, and if an enemy or an NPC happened to be there, she'll play the wince animation. It's like, don't you throw that thing at me!
That's good.
Yeah. I used to take... I don't know why I did this as a kid, but I would go to, like, the top section of the tavern in New Sorpical. I'd just throw all my weapons and stuff down the ramp, and I would watch it slide down.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's just stuff you do as a kid.
We should have made a puzzle with that where you had to throw stuff down to unlock a door or something.
Mm-hmm. And then reclaim it from the seer.
Yeah. or a quest where you have to appease the sea god or something. You have to take an item and throw it in the sea.
True.
We didn't use that. We didn't exploit that mechanic well.
Oh man, actually, I've got a joke for you. Here's the offering I would have given the sea god. Cesium metal. There's certainly even impression.
Well, you'd have to spell it C-S-E-A, cesium.
Yeah, so he doesn't suspect anything. Okay, next question comes from Avanu. In the beta intro for Might and Magic 6, now this is the intro, not the trailer.
Yep.
I got a screenshot here.
Man, how do you guys get all this beta stuff?
That's my question.
Somebody downloaded off of their hard drive, I think.
Yeah, or like they went to the web archive. Where snapshots of like the actual New World Computing site back when it was still up, they sometimes get stored into this web archive.
Oh, like the Wayback Machine, yeah.
Yeah. And it says, in the beta intro for Might and Magic 6, we can see Earth as the planet for the game world.
Uh-huh.
And it's used in the Might and Magic 8 cinematic too, apparently. Was it a placeholder, or did you really think to place the game in our world? After all, Might and Magic 3 planet was named Terra.
It was placeholder all the way. I don't know that we expected anybody to be that picky about it. Like I'm looking at, that's definitely Africa.
It's not really picky, but it's like curiosity with a sense of satisfaction that you found that thing.
And it was the first logo that I ever saw for the intro. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember if anybody wrote up a bug and said, "Hey, this looks too much like Earth," or if maybe John said something.
I see Britain up there. Apparently, it was snowing at the time.
Yes, looks kind of like a giant Thor's hammer here. So yeah, that the fact that it's in Might and Magic 8, that's probably a bug. They probably didn't think about where Might and Magic 8 was supposed to be taking place.
Ah, okay.
Using Terra is just we pick names out of history all the time.
Okay.
Even back then, like Terra didn't mean Earth. It just meant, hey, it's a neat sounding name that means Earth in another language, but it's not in English. So let's use it.
Okay. Next question. This also comes from Ivanu.
Are these also screenshots?
Yes. There are pictures of Sprite Town, quote, and Elixir Factory, quote, locations. They were never made into the game. Do you remember anything about them and why they were abandoned?
So these look like original pre MM6 sort of screens. So these were probably made. Well, they were definitely made very early on, before any of the other levels were made. Like right around, like what I was saying, when
the old company came in.
Yeah, the old
and
company.
yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, they look great.
Was this
I would
also
agree.
one of the reasons why some of the levels did not make it in the game? They didn't look appropriate.
Yeah, yeah.
So these were
Or
two
they were too
examples.
complex, and they would have taken too long to fix.
Ah. Yeah, because like I could see trees in the background. It's definitely like a very. I think yeah, it was definitely more about the location on the screen than the actual environment because the environment looks quite bare.
Yeah, that's a screenshot. That's a like when you go inside a building and you see like the environment behind you,
Yeah,
not an actual you can walk into it kind of level.
nah. It's kind of yeah, it's like what pops up on the screen before you enter a dungeon.
Right.
So yeah, that's the mysterious Sprite Town and the Elixir Factory.
That's
Oh, by the way, I forgot to show people. These were the unused items from the screenshot.
Oh, was there a screenshot of the unused items?
Yeah, it's called Unused Items.
Oh, there they are.
I don't know why the ruby amulet is there, because that's clearly an item that came up in the game.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just part of it. No way it could have been part of his starting inventory. Give me a break.
No, I doubt it.
You know what I've learned to do? I've learned to go into the game files and change the damage formula of the weapons
Uh-huh.
and just make them like beef them up a little bit.
Yep. Make them disgusting. That's that's valid. I used to do that. What game did I used to do that to? I used to do that to some game, like XCOM or something. I'd monkey around in the
I also replaced.
text editor.
I did a little experiment where I tried replacing the walk sounds with sound effects that I recorded.
How'd that go?
It went pretty good. It took some fine tuning because it goes in a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just the spell effects were fun to make. Incidentally, that's how I learned how to make sound effects. It's when I worked on Might and Magic 10, the Children in the Void project. You remember that?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Ari, who was the project leader at the time, came
Yep.
to me and said, "We need somebody who can make sound effects." And I thought, I've been tinkering with Audacity for a while. Why not let me give it a try?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and that's where I earn my money today. What
Very
little
good.
I do get. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I learned it. Okay, next question. And while this also comes in by Ivanu, while the enemies and NPCs in the Might and Magic 6 to 8 are 2D sprites, it seems that newer computing created all the environments and monsters as 3D models first. Same with Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Can you tell us more about it? Why did you choose to create 3D models instead of 2D bitmaps, while home computers couldn't use them in 1999 anyway?
You really have to ask one of the artists who did that, Tracy or April or
Tracy Iwata?
yeah.
Okay. Or Shelly Garcia, for that matter.
Who?
Shelly Garcia, do you remember her? She was, oh, you might not know her because she worked on the Heroes of Might and Magic games.
Maybe I did and I just forgot.
Oh, yeah, maybe. But yeah, she and I know each other as well.
Yeah, so there's kind of two reasons that to do 3D models instead of hand drawn assets. They're easier to make.
Yes. That was my theory.
They particularly in regards to creating animations, walk cycles, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you're doing hand-drawn art like that to do those walks like that. You got to do each individual frame, so you're drawing the same picture 16 times.
Yeah.
From each view. And with a 3D model, it just you make the model once, you give the animation, and then you just take pictures of each of those frames, which is probably why they did it. The other is it gives it a particular, especially at this time, sort of a modernish look compared to like Zine, where everything was hand drawn.
Yep.
And then technology was already heading towards 3D models anyway.
Yeah,
so
I noticed that. 3D
it was good to start looking in that direction.
I'm just showing this area for the audience. These apparently are the programs used to make the textures and the skins. 3D Studio Max and Materialize.
Yep, it was 3D Max. I don't know why they created all the musculature before they made the model.
Yeah. I used to use 3ds Max when I took computer animation in high school.
We used that when I was at EA. And I've used it a lot since.
Oh, accident pulled Discord up. Get back off. There you go. Alright, next question. We're almost done here. This one comes from Ravenheart87. What was the hardest part of implementing the mixed turn-based / real-time system? And why weren't some of the ways to cheese it, descending and ascending in turn-based mode while flying, fixed in patches or later games?
So the hardest part was being able to allow the player to enter and exit the turn-based mode at will without the player cheesing it. Because you could, when we first implemented it, you could just sit there and go in and out, and then you'd always get a turn, and the monster would never get a turn.
Yeah.
So the fix for that was the monster always goes first.
True.
When you go in and out of turn-based mode, so they'd always get an attack. For the second half, why we didn't fix being able to fly up and down, that I don't know. That seems like we should have fixed that.
An oversight.
Yeah, seems like a pretty easy fix too.
Because I remember I can still do that. That's the only way I can take on these damn Supreme Titans with their insta-kill ability. I'm so glad that they do not show up in indoor dungeons outside of the arena. Because, gotta love that insta-kill ability. But what's even better are the Terminator units. Eradicate.
Yep.
At least you can dodge those to some extent. Hide behind corners and just melee them.
Yep. Yep.
Alright, next question. By GSC again. The opening sequence and also the introductory part of the game were quite cryptic story-wise. The player character's hometown of Sweetwater was only mentioned once, and also the mentor Falagar barely had anything to say about the character's background. We never learned why he decided to train them in the first place. Is there any additional information you can give us about who the player characters are, how they fled from Paradise Valley to New Sorpigal, or what Falagar's intentions for them were?
Nope, your guess is as good as mine.
Okay.
In fact, I think we mentioned that as well back then, but the intro wasn't. We didn't think too much about it at the time. It was basically just a way to fire up the player and give them a reason to be in New Sorpigal.
I did like the opening cutscene, by the way. That was
it was great. It was always. I always liked that. In fact, that was one of the first things I saw before I was even on the team. I was like, "Oh my god, look at how it looks!"
Oh man, I also liked the Heroes of Might and Magic 2 cutscenes for that reason.
Yeah, with the voiceovers.
Yeah,
I don't a lot of the voiceovers.
Choose your lord.
Yeah.
Good times.
Archibald and Lord Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm. I like how you called him Archie in the game files. Like when you're doing little when you go into the library up in Castle Ironfist, you have Archie or no Archie. Just a cute way of calling him
Oh,
that.
oh no, who did that? It wasn't me.
No.
But
Okay. Last question. You'll be glad to know. This comes in by Jesse. Is there anything that you, Tim, would have done differently had you been in charge of Might and Magic 6?
I don't think so. I mean, not that Might and Magic 6 is a perfect game, but considering that it's 20 years later and you're asking me these questions, I think anything that I would have done differently would have just ruined it.
It was good enough as it is.
Yeah, and that's Beethoven famously said that great work is never finished. It's only a band.
True.
And in a game industry, video game sort of thing, that's definitely the case.
Yeah, it's like everybody wants more gameplay, but there comes a point where you just have to say enough is enough. We're ready.
Yep. Otherwise, you'll sit and work on it forever, and it'll never come out. You'll then you'll just run out of money and close up shop.
Run out of money and all that honey. Okay. Final words about anything, whether it could be the interview or just the game itself, anything.
Nothing. Maybe, you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to share something with you. That might. Well, we'll see. We'll see what people think about it. It's this thing that I've started working on.
Yeah.
The fact that I was working on while you guys were here.
Oh. Tim, you're frozen.
Surface Pro, and I unplugged it. I unplugged the docking station.
Okay. So, what were you going to show us?
Okay. Let me hold on to it this time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not going to talk about it, but that's just a little taste.
Ooh. I have
maybe whet some appetites on what that might mean.
Oh yeah. I have one last question for you, and this comes from me personally.
Sure.
Do you think there's anything, like being a former developer,
are
you perhaps hanging on to or know where to gain access to some of the old bits of history of Might and Magic 6? For example, pre-release content, and the holy grail being like a playable build, like maybe found in developer's closet of like the beta or the alpha even. Just so we could explore it and see what it was like in all its broken glory.
Interesting. That's an interesting question.
Yes. That's like the holy grail for me as someone who is interested in video game history and secrets.
Now, when we were working there, things like taking home builds were a big no-no. Because obviously there's a piracy issue there.
Yes.
So if someone did, because the only way that one of those an early build could be around would be if somebody took a build home, or if somebody hacked into the New World file server and stole it. But if they would have done that, it would have been out a long time ago.
I take it doesn't exist anymore, the server.
Oh no, I don't.
Not even in some guy's closet. I got a story to tell you.
No, it's. I mean, that server's 20 years old. So basically, what happened was when New World closed, its stuff was liquidated, and I don't know because I got laid off a year before the office actually shut down. So what happened to the file server and all the files on it and its backup tapes?
Do you know
If you
the
ask me, they probably pulled the hard drives out and shredded it and then junked the server. So the only chance for that would be, well, there was this guy Andy. He was the IT guy.
Yeah.
He might have backups. There was Mac, who was a build engineer. He might have taken home some build copies. He was a huge Might and Magic fan when he started.
Oh yeah. I have a little bit of a request for you. Nothing too extreme.
Yeah.
Can you check? Can you see if you're still in touch with these guys? Could you find out if it's possible to find what could be the old in the slim chance that it could actually prove to be the old stuff?
Ask. I'm still friends with Mac, so he might.
Yeah, because
Andy, I don't know what happened to Andy.
there was nothing that would make the fans of Might and Magic happier than to see
But a shitty old build of an unfinished game.
You would be you don't understand. To you it's a shitty old build. To us, it's a piece of ancient history that we would never have gotten to see otherwise.
Ancient history.
No, I'm serious. You would be amazed. Considering what we found already, it would be just a dream come true if we saw what the game. Whether it's a playable build or not, doesn't matter. If we could see what it looked like and how, it's like how archaeologists go into, ancient tombs and, gather up all these relics. That's basically what we're like with video game secrets and stuff.
Except you don't destroy the culture by picking up all its treasure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but if you could do something like that for us, that would be a huge service to the fans of the.
Yeah, I'll ask. Mac might have it. He'd probably be the best choice. I don't remember if he was if he did the builds for Might and Magic 6 or not, or if he came on later. He was definitely on for 9 because he's the one who told me to put Black Chest back in. Yeah, I'll get a hold of him and see.
Very much appreciated. That's the burning question that everybody has right now. Could the past be somehow recovered? Is a short way of putting it.
There have been times on occasion where I've wanted some of the old formulas and data from Might and Magic 9 for reference for other stuff that I was working. And no, it's gone.
I gotta tell you,
I had some stuff that I didn't steal it, but I was working from home for a little while.
I gotta tell you a story.
I burned a CD of it, but it's never anything that I'm looking for.
Before I conclude the interview, I gotta tell you a story. This relates to Thief and Thief 2. So for many years, it was assumed that the source code for Thief was lost. And then all of a sudden, a guy opens a closet, finds a bag, and in it were a bunch of CDs or something containing the source code for the Dark Engine, for Thief Gold, for Thief 1, Thief 2, and it remains to he submitted it to the Square Enix legal department, where it is still basically when word got out about this, there was a thread on the forum called TTLG, and you know how sometimes people can add tags to the forum threads? I started seeing things like flying pigs. God said, let them compile. It was like a mind-blowing discovery. It was like finding the cure for cancer to them. Because fans are making active updates to the game and its patches and whatnot.
Yeah,
There's this thing called New Dark.
That is a gray area.
Oh, it's the king of all gray areas because there's this guy from France who is rumored to have gotten a hold of the source code and is making updates to the game using the source code of the engine. He's remaining anonymous, but he's releasing updates and patches to the game, and that's now become the new standard of what the game installs on your computer through GOG.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's like the Telp patch is the standard install for GOG.
Exactly. But Thief is interesting because it was gotten if its method of acquisition remains to be a legal gray area.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends on whether or not UB or whoever owns the rights to that.
Square Enix.
Square?
Yeah, they acquired it. It's like 20 years later, fans are still making stuff for it. And some of the same fans as well that were there during the beginning are also still there today. Yeah, so they're probably like in their 40s or 50s, and they're making levels for the game.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to make a level for Might and Magic 6 again. Maybe just for old time's sake, but
do it. Do it.
I don't have any of the tools. I never got a copy of MCAT.
I just did that impulsively because, like, if you can find a way, do it. Like, we will be. It would make headlines. I'll just say that. In fact, the interview is making headlines already as we speak.
Well, maybe that'll drum up some interest for that screenshot I just showed you.
Exactly. Like, it could bring interest towards your game. And I just want to say thank you for taking the time from your day.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's sorry we had such a hassle getting
this. Explain to the audience what went on.
First I was sick.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think you forgot.
I missed it.
And then I forgot again. Fortunately, you hit me up in enough time.
Yeah. I had to sacrifice a night at a barbecue or some birthday party at my neighbor's. Because this was more important. We had been waiting for this for a long time. I can always get another barbecue, but I can't get another interview that easily. True.
Fortunately, my brother's birthday party isn't until, well, it's pretty soon.
Okay.
Good thing we're done.
Yep. Okay, so, how was it?
It was good.
Awesome.
Was good. Like, I think we're gonna have some. Well, you're gonna have to chop it up into a couple episodes.
Exactly. Yeah. No question about that.
2.5 hours.
Well, I've had 2 years experience. I used to record videos for YouTube, so
yeah,
that's easy.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right. And thank you everyone who watched. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, guys, thanks for liking a game that I made 20 years ago.
No problem.
Thanks for keeping it alive.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so everybody, I'm going to end the recording. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you later. And also go check